welcome to Look Ahead with Anna. So I've been away for a few weeks. I'm working on some big projects at the moment that I will certainly be updating you with later. But right now, I want to introduce you to a few sound bites from a presentation that I was able to give in January. I was invited to speak at the Impact Summit, which is for travel and sustainability, and it was all around regenerative approaches. And I had just completed my destination management regenerative course through the GDS movement. And so this was a brilliant opportunity for me to be able to pull together the learnings from this course and to be able to create a framework. I wanted to be able to demonstrate to DMOs, those that I work with and others, that there is a possibility to start to integrate regenerative thinking into the events that DMOs host themselves. And we all host events in DMOs, generally at least 1 or 2 a year that we own and operate. And that gives us flexibility to be able to change the way we do things. So here are some sound bites. It's all around an avatar of a tourism town hall. And it gives you the opportunity to hear a bit about that mindset I had with the framework. This is just a little bit of a snippet, but you can also go on and listen to the whole 12 minutes presentation, which I've also loaded onto this channel for you. And I have also put a blog together which explains a little bit more. It's part 1 that I've just completed, and part 2, I'm going to have a lot more actionable items and examples from different DMOs on what can be done. So I hope you find this useful, and of course, as always, would love your feedback. And please do forward this on to anyone that's looking at getting into regenerative practices. Thank you.
DMOs host events, their own events, every year. It's something that you would find is almost a routine in a system embedded. So is there a way to be able to tweak that and to start to bring in regeneration and the practices we need without starting from scratch? So it's really about simplifying, improving, and collaborating on an approach. And so hence we get to this point where my dose of innovation is all about basically elevating the existing events that we have and unleashing the power of regeneration. Regeneration is really at its core about leaving somewhere better than where we started. And although it sounds very simple in an era of a bombardment of information to us, you start to get overwhelming and you start to get your wheels turning and are not really knowing where to start. And so I felt that this little quote really sort of summed it up for me. Even those people identified as most concerned about climate change in research studies don't know what they can do individually or collectively. It's a serious problem and it's a recipe for disengagement. And so how do we make sure that our industry is not disengaged and that we are taking the steps we need to? I propose a framework to be able to go through in our existing events. And let's have an avatar in our mind of a tourism town hall. I think most people will know what that is. And let's start utilising different elements to be able to slowly bring in regenerative practices. A checklist I was talking about really when I was thinking about this, something that can be in the background and we can use time and time again and iterate. And so we need to start developing this so that we're ready. So here are a few suggestions, and there could be multiple for these. Representation may not have been on the original list of things generally to look at, but who are we inviting to these events? How are we also asking our stakeholders to be involved in the process rather than just being the end audience? And whose voices are missing? And then the best part, this is not one and done. We can start on the process and we can iterate as we go, as long as we make sure that we're honest with our feedback on what's worked, what hasn't, and what can we do. But the biggest thing is that as we become inclusive and bring more voices in, we're going to have a wider perspective as our destinations. We're truly going to see things that we didn't see before. And that's the wonderful power of regenerative approaches.
I hope you found those sound bites interesting. I've put a blog together as well. It's 2 parts. So the first part, which is already released, is really the background to how I was thinking and what the opportunities are for DMOs. The second one, which is going to come out very soon, is going to be a lot more tactical and practical ideas on how different destinations are doing this work right now, or how you might want to think about it from your own perspective. So I'll put the link in the notes below. I look forward to following up on this and seeing how you're all doing. And of course, please let me know if you have any comments or questions. As always, I look forward to being with you again soon. Bye-bye.